The Met Police have insisted that the public have a right to protest against the monarchy after an eco-activist went viral when he posted about an encounter in the capital with the force. Paul Powsland, who is also a barrister, claims he travelled to Parliament Square in central London and held up a blank piece of paper before being stopped by a police officer. Let's take a look at the recording that Paul made of the altercation.
I was holding up a blank sign. Why are you asking for my details?
Because you said you're going to write stuff on it that may offend people.
I said I was going to write "Not my king" on a sign, and you asked for my details.
It may offend someone.
Who's that going to offend?
Don't know. Someone may be
Not my king. Someone might be offended.
Are you going to listen, or are you just going to talk over me? Is that what you plan to do? Just talk over me continuously?
Go ahead.
No?
Sharon,
Yes,
should the public be able to protest against the monarchy during this time of mourning?
It's the law that they can, but the situation is morally, should they? That's the difference. And if you're not a royalist, so be it. You know, you're all entitled to your own feelings, your own opinions, and there's, you know, I'm sure that he's loving that he got filmed. And he's probably at home now, tapping away, sending it to everybody he knows. And I was saying before the show started, I think that the press should ignore these people and not giving them any airtime.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, I think there's a few of these half-wits out there that think it's a great idea. Look, if there's 100,000 people who are mourning or showing their respects, and you turn up with a banner or ready to write about it, you're only going there, you're only doing that for one reason, to cause some trouble. You want some aggro, you want an argument. It's completely inappropriate that you would choose that time. You wouldn't turn up at anybody else's funeral or special moment to make... People would say, that's inappropriate. Whatever the legalities are, it's just a very insensitive...
If you didn't like someone who died, would you go to the funeral and go,
I hated you? Of course you wouldn't.
And
start, old Alfie was a right piece of work, he was. Nobody would do any of that. And this is a similar thing. And when the police have stepped in, it's not about an authoritarian police force here. This is about the police saying, we want to stop any potential trouble. This could kick off.
But the police are not... Sorry, David. The police are not there to be the upholder of good manners. And I think we can all agree that that was not good manners. You know, they're there to stop people breaking the law, or they're to stop people putting other people, you know, in harm's way. And I think it's really damaging for the police to do what they did, because I actually don't think that the royal family would particularly thank them for
But what do they do, though, Daisy? Because if they don't... We
think...
saw yesterday in Scotland where it nearly got to a stage where the crowd could have turned on somebody.
Well, somebody did. They pushed that guy.
So the police, JJ, have to step into it.
Deputy Assistant Commissioner Stuart Cundy said, the public absolutely have a right to protest, and we've been making this clear to all officers involved in the extraordinary policing operation currently in place. So, David, why are the police... The police have been told... we expect protests and they can happen. Why are the police then going and arresting and charging people for protesting?
Well, that is obviously down to those individual officers, and I think the call was wrong. I think the officers shouldn't have behaved in that way. But I agree, I think it's completely disrespectful to act in that way. And actually, I think the Crown behaved brilliantly. They're the ones that closed these down by saying, stop, this is totally a lack of respect that you're showing to our former monarch. And actually, I think people need to learn to behave well.
But the thing is, the police are human too, and maybe that certain policeman was grieving, and he took it upon himself to say, like, look, mate, get out of here.
I think that's right, but the police are not meant to get emotional.
No, they're not.
They're put through their training so that they're the ones that, whilst all around them are losing their head, they're the ones that are meant to keep their head.
I get that, but if somebody said, there's people showing respects to the Queen there, and over there there's a group of people with their anti-monarchy banners and the like. I'd kind of get that a little bit, but to throw yourself into the melee of people who are there for that reason is just... I mean, Barrister Boy over there knew exactly what he was doing.
But also maybe the police actually should have said, look, sir, what you're doing is going to be inflammatory. I suggest that you step away. That might be the way to deal with it.
But I think if we as a group agree that comedians can insult religions, and that you know, free speech must be upheld at all times, and that nobody has a veto on being offended, because we've all said that on air multiple times about other instances about, you know, whether it's people being cancelled. We've got to stick by that, even if it's something we don't like, even if it smells bad. We've got to stick by our
principles. But this is not about the fact that I disagree with somebody's opinion. It's about the fact that it could kick off and spark some kind of violent outbreak. That, to me, is the reason why it's a protest.
That's the same argument as people say you know, what that comedian said is offensive and, you
But
know,
I don't
and it's
mind them arguing. I don't
transphobic
mind
or
them.
it's racist, you've got to take the rough with the smooth.
It's just where they were. I think that was the problem. It's like, yeah, have your say, but have it over there while this group of people are
That's
having
not
their
how
say.
it works.
No.
Never does.
It's not how it works, Ian. Have a think about that.
I'll be thinking during the...